the number one mistake credit professionals make when building their offers and how to fix it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Again, I'm Alicia Alt. I'm founder of LevelUp Score, and I'm super excited to bring this content to you because I think it's going to help you so much. So the first thing I want to welcome you guys because today, again, we're going to teach about what real value stacking is and how to define your niche and your client's dream outcome, how to identify the 5 to 7 obstacles that keep your clients from taking action. And then lastly, how to build a stacked offer that feels like a complete no-brainer for your customers. Okay. So welcome. So I'd like to start out first with what is value stacking, but to figure out what value stacking is, I'd like to tell you what it's not, okay? Because I see everyone does this all the time. It's like loading up these features like, oh, you're gonna, one-on-one coaching calls with me every month. You're gonna get, this and that. You're gonna get templates. You're gonna get PDFs. You're gonna get adding more stuff to your offer just because you think it justifies your price actually is not what we consider value. So when we talk about value stacking, we're looking at adding things to our offer that is increasing the perceived value of the offer by helping the client reach their dream outcome. These are keywords, guys, so listen to me. You want to help your client reach their dream outcome, circle that, faster, easier, safer, more predictably. Okay. And underline a couple times faster and easier, because those are going to be key things for most of us in the type of industries that my audience, you guys are listening to. So that you're credit professionals. Okay. All right. So I want to talk to you about the 4 drivers of perceived value because there are four key drivers to building perceived value in your offer. Okay. So the first one is dream outcome, what the client ultimately wants, not the service. For example, they want the home, they want the mortgage approval, they want a clean report, they want funding, they want financial stability, they want a fresh start. Those are the dream outcomes. It's not, I want credit repair, right? I want to talk to Alicia. Like nobody wants to talk to Alicia, right? It's about what they actually want. So we got to get very clear on their dream outcome because that's what we're selling them. We're selling them a journey to make it faster and easier to get to the dream outcome. Okay. The next 4 drivers out of the 4 drivers, the next one is likelihood of achievement. So this is really important. Does the client believe you can actually help them succeed? So when we're doing our offer, we need to make sure that one of the drivers is that we're addressing their likelihood of achievement. So do they believe that you are going to be the one that helps them succeed? But you might also want to look at, do they believe they can do it? Because that oftentimes is the issue, not that they believe whether or not they might fully believe that you can get them to their goal, but they might have their own internal thought processes where they feel like, I don't know if I can do it, right? So just keep that in mind. Time delay is another one. How long they believe it will take before they see results. Remember I told you to underline a few times faster and easier? They're looking for a faster process, right? So you got to deliver a timeline delay that makes it faster. So for me, my dream outcome for my clients was they wanted to buy a house, right? So my niche was I was a first-time home buyer expert. So what I needed to do is show them that the journey from where they're at to where they want to be buying their first home, I had created this smooth, easy, fast journey because they wouldn't have to go over the hills and valleys and get the bumps and bruises that maybe I had to do to get from here to my first home, right? So I've kind of streamlined that process. So you want to make sure that that is very clear in your offer. Effort and sacrifice. I always say people don't like to do anything, right? And those of you who have been in the credit space probably know what I'm talking about. Clients, they don't want to do much. They want to put it all on you. So how can you help them understand the effort and the sacrifice, like making it easy for them? So making your journey easy, making it easy to understand, answering their questions before they have questions. Things like that will really help make your offer better. So these are the 4 drivers of perceived values. I'm going to say them again. So we have dream outcome. We got to know that. Likelihood of achievement. So we got to make sure we address that with our clients. Time delay. They want it to be fast. So if we have a process and it's a long drawn out process, how can we get quick wins through that process so that we can say in this time to this time, you're going to get this. And then from this time to this time, you're going to get this. Those quick wins are really important. And then effort and sacrifice. How can we simplify the process and address their concerns that this might be hard for them? Okay, does that make sense? With the 4 drivers? Okay. All right. Next, we want to find your niche and dream outcomes. So your niche is actually, very simply, who you serve plus what their outcome is plus when. So first of all, we need to know who they are, right? So for my example here, we have single moms. Okay. What do they want? What's their outcome? Who want to buy a home. By when? In the next 6 to 12 months. Okay. So this is what I'm offering. I'm offering help for single moms who want to buy a home in the next 6 to 12 months. So it's very clear. Anyone who hears that message, if I went out and I started doing my social media or my ads and I said, hey, I'm working with single moms who want to buy a home in the next 6 to 12 months, I have a really clear message about what I'm offering, and I also it makes it so much easier to deliver on that because I can create the journey specifically for this, all the mile markers and everything that they need to get them to their dream or their buying a home in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So really, really important. Another example that might be helpful for some of you, families wanting to stop renting and qualify for a mortgage this year. So again, who we serving? Families wanting, what do they want? Wanting to stop renting and qualify for a mortgage when? This year, right? This one's a big one for those of you guys who do business funding. Truck drivers are a big niche out there. So who are we helping? Truck drivers, what do they want? Wanting fast funding when? In 90 days. People rebuilding after divorce. So that's our who want a fresh start. That's their outcome. When? 4 to 6 months. Do you see how us narrowing this down can help us deliver the message and deliver the actual journey to them so they reach those goals in those timeframes? It makes your job a lot simpler. Veterans wanting to qualify for a VA loan before the end of the year. Who are we doing? Veterans. What do they want? Qualify for a VA loan. When? Before the end of the year. Okay. And we got to know what their dream outcome is. So these are examples of dream outcomes. They want to get the keys, walking into their own home, qualifying for funding, moving their family into stability, clearing up credit issues once and for all, feeling confident with their finances, being mortgage ready, getting a bank to say yes. So once we know what their dream outcome is, it's real easy to figure out the who for our niche and the when, right? Because that's the journey that we're taking them through. I hope that makes a lot of sense, because if you can get that down, you're saving yourself a lot of time and hassle and really going to be able to help people get to their goals. Okay, so people don't buy credit repair. I'm gonna say this again. People don't buy credit repair, or they don't buy a loan, don't buy necessarily the financial budget plan, right? They buy the transformation they believe that the credit improvement will give them, right? So make sure you understand that. All right, next thing, I want to show you how to identify the 5 to 7 obstacles that are blocking that outcome. So everybody has different obstacles that are preventing them from, say, using your service or signing up for your service. You cannot build a great offer unless you know what's standing in your client's path. But before you can know what's standing in your client's path, we also got to know who our niche is, right? So we need to know our niche. We need to know who we're talking to, right? We need to know what their dream outcome is. We need to know when the time frame is. And when we know those things, now we're going to look at and discover what are the obstacles that would keep them from doing it. So what we want to do is we want to write down all the obstacles, at least 5 to 7. There's probably more, but you can start with 5 to 7. Write that down, and then your value stack must eliminate the obstacles your clients fear. So they must eliminate it. So that's how you build a value stack. It's not just adding and throwing a bunch of stuff into your offer to say, hey, I give you all this for this dollar amount. The things that you give them in your offer have to be of great value to them, but they also have to be things that help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from actually signing up for your service, right? And so we're going to kind of go through a little bit of those obstacles to give you an example. So these are 7 obstacles that might block your client. I'm just going to give you some examples to help get your brain kind of moving with what I'm talking about. So the first one I have here is I tried this before, nothing worked. I'm sure you guys heard that one. So maybe some of the value stacks or add-ons that you would have on your offer is LevelUp Score Progress Tracker, right? So they can see that they are actually doing something. A monthly personalized video update in LevelUp Score. A clear written action plan. LevelUp Score does that too. So those value stacks can be the solution to helping someone who has the obstacle. I tried this before and nothing worked, right? And here's the beautiful thing. I talked about this when I talked about value stacking last Tuesday. All of these value stacks here don't create more work, except for maybe this monthly personalized video. But if you ever get on my demo, you'll see I do my monthly personalized videos in 40 seconds, right? So it's not a heavy lift. But all the rest of this is already done inside of Level Up Score. So sometimes what you're doing is you're looking at what you already offer and how it alleviates that obstacle. Okay, not necessarily more work. Obstacle number 2, I don't understand credit or the process. Okay, so you can have a credit basic mini course or 10 quick wins guide or new client orientation video, right? Helping them understand the understanding credit and understanding the process. Now, one thing I like about Level Up Score is I was a teacher for many years. I was a professor, and I would get called into different colleges to teach Credit 101. And it was really interesting because all the students fill out the survey. They all wanted to learn about credit. I get there and I feel like I'm talking to, well, I honestly felt like I was talking to people who, I'm looking at people, but no one's actually there. And what I learned from that is a lot of people don't really want to learn about credit. They want to learn about credit when it specifically applies to them. And so when we talk about like Level Up Score, for instance, when they say, I don't understand credit, we don't need to give them a whole Credit 101 course because they could care less. What they're looking for is, how can you help me understand credit based on my goal and what I want to do, right? And again, with Level Up Score, that's real quick and easy. They're going to get an action plan of what they specifically need to do to get to their goal. And then you can have a quick couple-minute video showing them that and helping them understand that. And that can alleviate that obstacle. Obstacle 3, I lose motivation and give up. People have this fear all the time. Oh, I'm going to get started. I'm not going to do it. We've done it before. How many of you guys are in the credit profession and someone said, oh, I got this really great class that you can take. It's going to help you with your business. And you go buy the class and then you never actually take the class. Or you take the class and you don't implement anything, right? We're all guilty of that. Well, our clients have that same fear because they've done that before too. They're just like us. They've bought things that they never did. And so they have a fear oftentimes of losing motivation and giving up. So we can value stack that monthly re-anchor why call or video. So I did that every month. I did a little 40 to 60-second video saying, hey, here's your new action plan. Here's the things I want you to work on this month. But I also readdress their why. Why are they doing this? Hey, John Doe, you remember when we first got started, you wanted to buy a house. I just want to show you your credit scores have gone up. We've alleviated some of the action steps that we need to do. And now this month, this is what we're going to do. This is going to help you get closer to your dream of buying your home for your son. So you can walk in there and show your son his bedroom and, that kind of thing. So we can reestablish that why in those calls. You can have like a visualization worksheet that you give them. Maybe you're sending out motivational text scripts and stuff like that you could do. So that's a really great way to help boost their motivation and help them from giving up, right? We've all been there. Obstacle number 4, I'm scared I'll get denied again. This is a big fear. If you think about it, and if you've been there, you probably know what I'm talking about. But let's say you go to buy a home or any kind of lending thing, and you go and you do all this work, you get them all this paperwork, you're so excited. Maybe you've already even found the home that you want. And you go to the lender, they pull your credit, they do the analysis, and they say, I'm sorry, I can't get you approved. It literally feels like you took that person and you threw them off the side of a building. It's not a great feeling. And so oftentimes when they have this goal of, I want to buy a house, and that's happened to them, that's an obstacle of them working with you. Even though they really, really want to buy a house, they don't want that feeling again. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to have the feeling of, oh, I'm just going to get denied again. Have you heard people say stuff like, oh, here it goes again. All the bad things happen to me. Like that's true feelings that people have, and we have to help them overcome that. So some of the value stacks that you might have in that is like mortgage readiness roadmap, an underlying prep checklist. Of course, the Level Up Score action plans do that. So you can say, I understand that. I understand you have this fear of getting denied, but what if I told you I have the exact roadmap, step by step by step of the things you need to do so that you won't get denied? How would you feel about that? Right? So those are some of the words that you can say when clients are saying things like this. Okay, obstacle number 5. This feels overwhelming, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that. So value stack, you have a 1-page monthly action plan, right? That's something you can get from Level Up Score. Priority breakdown, what to do first. So Level Up Score actually puts in order to easiest to hardest, but you could do a quick video on that and say, hey, don't feel overwhelmed. We have 10 actions to take, but I just want you to take one this month. And then if you take the one and you feel like, oh, I'm really supercharged, I'm going to take another one, here's the second one you can take. But just at least take this one this month, right? That really helps them alleviate that feeling of overwhelm. Because sometimes when people have a goal and they want to buy a house, the first overwhelm is, I don't even know how to do it. The second overwhelm, someone gives them a list of things to do, and they're like, there's 22 things on this list, right? And that's another sense of overwhelm. So we can break that down. Of course, a debt strategy guide might be good there because maybe it's overwhelming because their finances are out of control, right? Obstacle number 6. Now, I'm giving you 7 obstacles because these are the common ones I heard in my industry. They might be helpful for you. So if any of these resonate with your industry and what you're doing, make sure you have a value stack for that because your clients are probably having that. Even if you say, well, this client didn't say anything about not wanting to get scammed. You don't know, it's probably in the back of their head. Just have it put in your value stack. Okay. So offer number 6, I don't want to get scammed. So you have written deliverables like LevelUp Score. As soon as someone signs up, right, they can get their action plan within seconds and they're like, whoa, this person actually is helping me right now. Really helps with that buyer's remorse. Someone buys something and they're like, oh, is this person really going to deliver with what they said? Transparency reports, obviously that's a LevelUp Score thing. Monthly progress check-ins, also something that LevelUp Score can do. So you see already like the value stacks, you're really not doing extra work. It's all built into like a system like LevelUp Score. So you don't have to do a lot of work. You're just showing them truly how that helps them with their obstacle. I don't have extra money. Maybe you have a savings plan template, high savings plan, a high yield savings plan link, a budgeting toolkit, rent reporting link to help them. See, there's all kinds of ways that you can help them. Like for instance, a couple weeks ago, I did a class on how to convert 100% of your leads. If you haven't seen that class, scroll down in the YouTube or the Facebook or wherever you're at, find that class because you can help someone no matter where they're at financially. Okay, and keep those in your ecosystem. All right, so those are 7 obstacles just as examples. You may be looking at your client base and find out there's different ones and it doesn't relate to what I just said, but I just wanted to give you some thoughts to help get your mind turning. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is value stack examples because I think this is really important. So putting it all together, right? So this first value stack I want to show you is Homebuyer Success Bundle. Okay. I was just speaking with someone earlier today and she's like, I just want to be a coach. I don't want to be known as credit repair because I want to do so much more than credit repair. This is what I'm talking about when we're doing value stack. Matter of fact, if you are in credit repair and you're doing value stacks like this, like Homebuyer Success Bundle, for instance, please don't say you're a credit repair because you're not, right? You're so much more than that. Credit repair to me, the name credit repair, when I think of that, I think of someone who does disputes. This is not what you're doing. That might be part of your process, but that's a small part of your process, right? You have an actual journey to help someone get from where they're at to where they want to go. And that's what you're selling them. So here's some fully built out stack examples that I want to give you. You can copy these today, whether you're a credit professional, loan officer, real estate agent, or financial coach. I got a couple of scenarios that you guys can look at, but this one is the Homebuyer Success Bundle. And so really this is perfect for credit pros, loan officers, realtors, coaches. The core offer here is credit guidance, plan creation, and homebuyer path. Okay. So value stack add-ons might be a mortgage readiness roadmap. And those of you who maybe are in the credit space and you're not interviewing the loan officers you're working with, this is a good time to interview them and help come up with this mortgage readiness roadmap. LevelUp Score action plan, obviously, is value stack. LevelUp Score transparency progress tracker, so they can see how they're progressing each and every month. A monthly personalized video update, budgeting and savings toolkit, high yield savings account setup guide, rent reporting enrollment, underwriting prep checklist, fast track approval list, right? So these are some of the add-ons that you might add on to a homebuyer success bundle. Okay, so this isn't just credit help. This is the full home buying system. That's what you want them to feel like, right? They came to you to say, hey, I want to buy a house. They're like, whoa, this isn't just them helping with their credit. This is the full home buying system. That's how you want them to feel. That's the perceived result of that stacking. Okay. Next example is Fresh Start Rebuild Bundle. So this is also perfect for credit pros, coaches, realtors that might be assisting people in post-divorce, bankruptcy clients, such and so forth. Core offer is credit rebuilding and emotional support. So maybe some of the stack-ons would be Rebuild Survival Guide, LevelUp Score one-page roadmap, your secure card and builder links. Those are your affiliate links. Future self visualization workbook, budget and saving strategy session, weekly lesson, 5 wins in 30 days, right? Rebuild timeline, month 1 through 6. These are things that you can build on, and this could be your offer, right? This is your deliverables. So their goal is, they want a fresh start. They want to have financial stability. Maybe they went through a divorce, bankruptcy, lost their job, things like that. So perceived results. Someone finally understands my rebuilding journey, right? Value stack number 3, and this is business funding builder kit. So I told you I'd give you all something everyone can use. So this is perfect for credit pros. Loan officers can use this, coaches working with entrepreneurs, business funding, obviously loan officers. The core offers to improve personal credit for business funding, right? So value stack add-ons could be business funding roadmap, which is inside LevelUp Score, funding readiness checklist. You can have the top 10 lenders list, banking and LLC setup guide, inquiry and utilization strategy session, cash flow tracker, business credit starter vendor pack, right? So a lot of these things, if you're working with business funding, you probably already have them created, and then you're just going to show those in your value stack. So perceived result, this is everything I need to get funded. Okay. Remember, your perceived result should be there. They should be thinking, oh, this is going to get me to my dream outcome. And that's why it's so important to niche down and know who you're talking to. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this was very helpful. So let me just say this. Thank you for being here. Okay. But if this helped you today, there are a few steps that I recommend you take. Step number 1, get on LevelUp Scores demo if you have not done so already. If you have done LevelUp Scores demo and you've been activated and you've just been sitting on that, it's time to take action. If you want an easy way to add massive value to your offer without doing any extra work, LevelUp Score does that for you, right? The action plans, the deliverables, for instance, I was talking to someone the other day. Deliverables are really important. If someone pays me for something and I'm just doing disputes, that's not a deliverable if I don't actually get anything removed. What's a deliverable is saying, here, I have an action plan for you. While you're working on these action plans, this is what you're buying. I'm going to do some things in the background to help make this happen faster, right? So sell the deliverables, the tracking, the affiliate link integrations. It's all done automatically for you. It's something you don't have to worry about. It instantly increases the perceived value of your offer. I had a guy the other day, he went from a $500 offer to a $1,000 offer because he was able to add LevelUp Score into his offer. The perceived value was so substantial, he's able to increase the price of his offer. And then step number 2, I want you to book a 15-minute value stack strategy session with me. This will allow me to personally look at your current offer and help you build a stacked offer that feels irresistible. So you'll get a link of that. I'll put that in the comments for that. So feel free to get on a call. We'll strategize your offer. Make sure it's a really good offer so you can launch. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today. And if I can do anything, please reach out to me. You can always comment below any questions or any feedback that you have, because I certainly want you to be massively successful. Those of you who are my success bosses, you are people out there who are truly helping people get to their goal. I thank you for that and want you to know we need more of you. So thank you, but we need to keep you from getting burned out. So let LevelUp Score help you do that. I appreciate you and have a great day.